Welcome back to part 2 of episode 1, Jeepers Reapers. If what I said is confusing you, then you missed out on part 1. So go get caught up and we'll meet you right back here when you're ready. We'll wait. Okay, now that we're alone, we can discuss our super secret plans for... Oh, hi, you're back. Looks like everyone's up to speed, so we'll talk about the secret plan later. Let's dig in. Death party!
So this is the part of the research where I started getting really excited. I got all of the stuff that's about to come from this book called The Psychology of Death, and I was like, 2 of my favorite things, and I've never heard about this book, and I felt very left out and FOMO'd. So back in, I think this book was written in early or late 70s, sometime in the 70s. And it was written by some psychiatrists, and they did a study where they collected information on how people, just average, everyday people, personified death. 240 test subjects were given an open-ended question, while 421 of them were given multiple choice questions. So the open-ended question was, if death were a person, what would death be? The multiple choice variation was, would you represent death as young or old, man or woman, or other?
Oh my god, that sounds so fun. No fair. I want to pick. Okay, wait. I can't decide. What would you choose? I'll go with whatever you pick.
Oh, I mean, that koala's starting to sound pretty good.
It does, though. Oh, no, wait. I'd pick a child, like a toddler, because have you ever been around a toddler for more than like 10 minutes? They suck the life right out of you.
Oh.
I swear I'm so drained after I'm around children. That's why they're always so full of life and energy, you know? They siphon it off of adults, like little vampires.
Feed and feed and feed.
Never stops.
That's why they're so cute, so you keep them around.
Right. It's all a trick.
Without realizing, in fact, they're the demons.
Yes. Oh, actually, I changed my mind. So, I love Gustav Klimt, and particularly his painting, The Kiss.
Oh,
and
yes.
it's appeared in my life a lot lately. I think mostly because Facebook is spying on all of us through our phones and stuff. But anyway, I was thinking, while you were talking earlier, like, why shouldn't I pick my own psychopomp? Like, some people throughout history saw death as this caring guide who led the way into the next life or the underworld or whatever.
Yes.
And then how unfair that I get stuck with some crap spooky version with a f***ing scythe just because some people went through some shitty plague? Mm-hmm. No. So my Reaper is going to be that dude in the painting, The Kiss, in that fantastic golden blanket who just, like, wraps you up in this loving embrace where you're just smothered with the most fabulous comforter in all of existence, and then escorted by this babe with great curls into the afterlife.
Bonus of wearing the golden blanket is it keeps the Doulahan away.
The Doulahan.
So you're covered.
Win-win.
Yeah.
Covered by covers.
Covered, literally covered.
Okay, so this study, that sounds so cool. What did they find?
So there were 4 main archetypes that came up. And I'm going to go in, I believe they're presented in the most pervasive order. So the most popular one, we all know and love, is a Grim Reaper. Yeah. So the Grim Reaper is known as the macabre. I hate saying it that way. I usually just say macabre.
You can say it 3 different ways. You can say it that way because we're in America.
Right.
We butcher everything.
Yeah, my French is not great.
Plus, you don't want to be that person who just is talking normal and then goes into a restaurant and is like, I'll have a croissant.
Croissant. Voulez-vous coucher? Oh, no.
That's all I learned in French class, too.
Yeah. If there's not French lyrics in a song, then I don't know any French. So the macabre death personification is, like I said, the Reaper. He's embodied by decay. He's usually old. He's typified by an ugly visage. Visage. But I don't like to use that term. I think that it's kind of rude. So let's just say he's attractive in an unconventional way as a death figure.
If you gaunt it flaunt it.
Oh.
It only gets worse from here, folks. Sorry about
Okay, so that's one down, and we got 3 more. So what the second most popular personification of death? What do
that.
you
The
think?
koala.
Yeah,
I got it?
basically.
All right, sweet.
So this one is known as the gentle comforter.
Comforter!
Yeah.
Like what I just said, though.
Yes.
Like blankets.
Yeah. And I did do it and conduct an internet search for gentle comforter, and I put it in quotation marks, and
That just sounds so weird.
a lot of the results I got were,
Probably not good.
well, they were bed comforters, and I was like, man,
Oh, that's way better than what I was thinking.
way to ruin comforters as being cozy. Now I gotta worry about them killing me in my sleep, I guess.
But what better way to go than just being snuggled by your own comforter
Snuggled to death.
until dead?
That is adorable.
Almost as adorable as a death koala.
Oh, snuggled by a death koala. That's it. Death, if you're taking orders. Sign me up for one snuggled by a death koala. It's basically what it sounds like. I was kind of thinking it's the gentle death creature that just kind of soothes you into the underworld and just kind of is very obviously gentle about it. So I was picturing a personification like, the elderly old lady that lives down the street, and then you go over to her house, and then you rake her yard, and then she invites you in for a cup of tea, and you have like half of the tea before you realize you can't actually taste the tea or feel the tea on your tongue, and you can't taste or feel anything. And then you realize that the Twilight Zone was right about death all along.
Is this something that happens to you?
I mean, this has to be a trope in something somewhere.
Oh, okay. It sounded like a personal experience, and I was kind of getting jealous because I want that sort of relationship with my neighbors.
You can have it.
But, I mean, well, I don't know that I want to drink something and lose all feeling in my body.
No.
It's a little spooky. There's only so many times a week you can do that, so.
So, all right. So the third most popular death personification that came up, what do you think? We've got the creepy, dying, decayed death, and then we've got, like, nice grandma that kindly escorts you to the next realm death. So what's number 3?
How about, like, a aloof, sort of nonchalant death?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
The automaton.
Beg your pardon?
Automaton.
Okay. Explain.
It's very hard to say.
Explain to me.
So this is the death version that's like a void of personality.
Oh.
I imagine he's still really popular, i.e. he comes in third because he like makes 6 figures a year and drives a sports car. So he still gets all the ladies.
He comes to, like, ferry you off in his sports car, and he's like, don't touch the leather.
Hey, keep your damn fingerprints off of the door.
There's only one cup holder, and it's for me.
I mean, obviously he can't drive a sports car because death rides a pale horse.
Oh.
Oh, maybe that's the modern version.
Ooh, but what's the car that's the horse?
Oh,
Isn't there a car that's a horse?
It's a horse car, like the Trojan horse with wheels.
No, it's
Not a
got
car.
the Mustang. Got the little horse off the, so he
yes.
just drives a white Mustang, that's all.
Loophole.
Hashtag sponsored. Hey, Mustang, get a hold of us.
And he's got like a steering wheel that's a skull.
Yeah.
Skull rims.
Ooh, like Elvira, Mistress of the Dark car.
Yes.
Except his would have to be a Mustang. I don't know what hers was.
I feel like, yeah, it was one of those 60s giant boats of a vehicle that was pretty rad.
Losing points for not knowing exactly what car she drove.
I know. Didn't she have the leopard print interior, though?
Something amazing.
I feel like Death would
There was,
probably...
like, chain. Wasn't it a chain steering wheel or
Yes.
barbed wire or something like that?
Fun fact, Cassandra Peterson,
Mm-hmm.
Elvira, has the same birthday.
What?
Yes.
Dude.
I know. Do you know how excited I was to learn that at like age 12?
That's so unfair.
Yeah, I know. Okay, so the automaton Death doesn't have emotions. He has a human appearance, but like kind of acts like the shell of a human. In other words, I kind of picture him, he's like the personification of toxic masculinity.
Oh. Goodbye, male listeners.
Yeah. Hey, I didn't say masculinity. I said toxic.
Just the toxic, which is not you, because you're listening to our podcast, so obviously you're awesome.
Hashtag feminism. Yeah, so the automaton doesn't derive pleasure nor sorrow from his job, instead taking it simply as a duty.
So it's just his, 9 to 5.
Yeah, he's totally punching the clock, and then he's just getting out of there, and he's, thinking about dinner or whatever at the end of the day.
Right.
He's not taking it with him. I feel like...
That's healthy.
Yeah. He's like the introverted ticket taker at a train station. He doesn't want to hear where you're going or who you're going to see there. He just wants to, take your ticket and then be done for the day.
Right.
I mean, in this case, your soul.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good stuff. Oh, and I thought this was interesting. This personification was commonly reported by funeral directors and mortuary science students.
That makes sense, actually.
Yeah. Which I think, to be fair, I don't know if this book got into exactly how many of people in that realm they interviewed, but
that seems like maybe a high percentage of those people for that particular study, which makes sense, but maybe their results were a little skewed.
Yeah, because you have to pick and choose, because if you give this study hey, tell me how you think about death, there's going to be certain people who are being not thinking about it, not filling out your questionnaire, go to hell, dude.
Right.
And then you don't get your factoids.
But then if you ask people who that's what they do every day and obviously have nerves of steel to be doing that job in the first place, who can emotionally detach from the work that they have to do, or go home at the end of the day and be all right, they're not going to be oh yeah, it's this kind, matronly woman who just hugs on you and gives you tea and cookies. Probably not. I don't know. Maybe some of them did, but...
Well, and then it was also this, probably funeral directors and mortuary science students reported this personification more than the other ones, because having to deal with it every day, they're already used to, putting off thoughts of their own death and just, going through the motions and, preparing bodies, whatever. So they're just kind of it's a business. We're just getting it done.
Get that money, honey.
Get that death cheddar. Yeah. Okay, so now we've got one more.
We're back to moldy cheese.
No!
Death cheddar.
Cheddar's not moldy, at least.
That's going to be the name of this episode.
Yeah. I mean, all cheese is mold, but it's not moldy.
It's different when you can see it.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks for making me forever think about cheese in a different way.
Death party, ruining cheese forever.
Come for the death, leave because you'll never eat cheese again. All right, so the last one. Fourth most popular personification. Fourth and final.
Children. Probably not. That's just what comes to mind for me.
In a way, you're sort of right.
Am I right again?
You're not totally wrong.
Oh, okay.
But you're not 100% right.
I felt more special a minute ago.
Yeah, sorry. I mean, it kind of. Okay, so this is the gay deceiver.
The what?
The gay deceiver. Kind of what he sounds like. The depiction of the gay deceiver. Basically, you get the idea that he's the cool guy in high school.
He's that guy.
Yeah. Which, I mean, it's kind of a dated image, because the cool guy in high school usually doesn't stay the cool guy into adulthood. Spoiler alert. But he's described as being sharp or trustworthy in appearance. Sharp. He's usually one of the younger ones, so the gentle comforter and the I will never not think of a comforter on a bed and the grim reaper, tend to be older physically, but the gay deceiver is younger than middle-aged. He's got a lively and enticing personality, but he's a deceiver. He's a hypocrite. He's a liar. He's a con artist. If you're listening across the pond, a confidence trickster. I believe, is what I heard them refer to it as in Faulty Towers. I don't know if that's still the case, but... So I kind of think of him as, like, the psychopath CEO.
Right. I'm picturing almost like the Joker.
Yeah.
Like all sharp, like nice threads.
Mm-hmm.
Really animated.
Yeah, he's like the Christian Bale in American Psycho.
Right.
Death personification.
Huh. I would not think of that. Who were these people they were polling?
Yeah, well, like I said, this book's from the 70s. So, you know, I think...
So maybe going to, like, group therapy
Everyone, so many bell bottoms. I mean, it was funeral directors, nurses, hospital employees, and liberal arts students. And I think they all work in dead industries. The liberal arts students have in common that, you know, their degree is not going to be any use, and it's a dead degree. Sorry. We both went to art school. It's fine.
It's not fine.
It's not fine. But now we have a podcast. Please listen so we don't have to go back to real jobs.
We'll get over it.
And by real jobs, I mean not art jobs. Have nothing to do with art.
Grave digging, basically.
Oh, God. Well, I did work in art for 8 years, but then I was like, this is awful. And I'd like to have a life again. So that's all I have on those 4. Basically what it comes down to is the 4 personifications. There were more. Those were just the main ones. The 5th most common one, I guess, was like just some random person that you know. Could be a neighbor, could be your grandmother. And then you see them and you're like, oh, this is death coming for me. It just takes the form of someone familiar to me.
Oh, okay. Like when people see a relative in their room that's passed on?
Yes.
Or something?
Yeah, exactly. Or it could just be somebody that you have known for most of your life and you're not related. And
well, what if they're just walking past your house and you're like, they've come for me, I'm passing over, and they're just going to the corner store.
Yeah. Then you might want to rethink your death personification because that would be pretty trying.
Yeah. Like if they lived next door, that would happen a lot.
Yeah.
I'd be so stressed out.
Be hard to have a normal day.
Yeah. They should just go with the koala because it's way more unlikely that they would see one just strolling past their house.
Go with a koala. Avoid Australia. If you live in Australia or you're moving to Australia, you know, go with a black squirrel.
Right.
Do you have black squirrels in Australia? Probably not.
I don't know.
Canada.
I just found out about those. There's one in my aunt's yard in Chicago. And
What?
It's so cute.
Oh, I bet it is.
Super pitch black.
I've never seen one.
Oh my gosh. Really cute. Maybe it's a harbinger?
Harbinger, I think.
Harbinger?
Harbinger? The death personifications are useful because it's a way of processing your fears about death, your thoughts, and just kind of, you know, when you give something a name or you visualize it, basically if you think about something, you're kind of taking power away from the fear that thing has over you, and you're dealing with it, confronting it head on, which is usually better than just like, I'm never gonna think about that and then I won't die.
Right.
Well, it was basically just like, you know, there are some people in the psychology field that think that psychology exists because death exists. Like, all of our fears go back to a fear of death.
Mm. Well, I also have a fear of just being maimed and not dying.
Yeah.
So
That would be
fun.
rough.
Yeah.
I have a fear of Civil War era medicine.
Oh, God.
Amputations with saws and like a piece of leather between your teeth.
Yeah.
Mm.
Not a big fan of that either.
And I do not want.
You would think there would be a point at which, I mean, there is, right? There's a point where you just black out.
Yeah.
And you don't.
Oh, yeah.
Why doesn't that point come a lot sooner?
Right. I mean, I would just pass out.
I would hopefully pass out. Just like hit myself repeatedly in the head until I black out.
How do we put a bow on that? Go ahead and think about death and like what it looks like and make it cute. Maybe death is like your twin and you're just talking to yourself. Whoa.
I feel like a lot of horror movies have done that, though.
Way to just yuck my yum.
I liked your koala thing, though.
Yes. Yeah.
No, but that's such a great... I can't believe, like, I think about death a lot, and I never thought, what does death look like to me, or what do I want death to look like? It just seemed like something that existed before me, and I didn't get to pick at all. Somebody had already decided, whoever the hell that was. But I love this idea of owning it and sort of, like, making it comfortable for you in whatever way, and sort of taking the power out of it by making it, maybe it's nice.
Yeah.
Maybe it's helping us out on that next little leg of the journey.
I mean, what's the worst that can happen? Then death comes for you and it's like a totally different death than you imagine. And he's like, hey, come on, I'm doing my best. And he's just insulted.
Or you just don't recognize death and you just keep going about your day, and he's like following you around like, no, it's me. And you're like, no, I'm waiting for a koala.
Yeah, sorry.
No, really, though. I've got my Mustang out front. Come on.
I am not going with you. I've never seen that Mustang before.
Yeah.
Where's the femur cart?
I'm waiting for the femur cart full of koalas. Thank you very much.
I wanted to carpool off to my death, and you're just going to take me on, what, a Segway? No thanks.
I pulled a lift already.
What if death just, like, scoots up on a Segway, and you're like,
no.
Are you fucking kidding me? I am not going out like that.
If you like us, if we haven't traumatized you yet, if you want more of our bizarre dad joke brand of whatever this is, then help us help you get more of what you want by giving us a 5-star review wherever you listen to podcasts. And tell your friends. If they're as weird as you are, they might like us too. If you want to join our Facebook group to find other weirdos like you, or follow our Facebook page or Instagram, we're on all of those at Death Party Podcast. And we're on Twitter at Death Party Pod, just to be difficult. If you want to email us your amazing idea for an episode, love letters, hate mail, fan art, or your soul, you're not really using it anyway, you can send those to us at deathpartypodcast@gmail.com. Bye!
Bye!